In the vibrant realm of Sprunkia, a land where identity was as fluid as the ever-changing skies, the inhabitants faced a peculiar tradition. Upon reaching a certain age, each individual was required to select an object that would define their essence, their role in society, and their very being. The selection ceremony was a grand event, filled with anticipation and trepidation. Colorful banners fluttered in the wind, and the air buzzed with excitement as the young Sprunkies gathered in the central plaza. Among them stood Black, a reserved and introspective Sprunky with a penchant for solitude. His friends, Spry, Torp, and Pinky, chattered animatedly about the objects they hoped to choose. "I think I'll go for the Shield of Valor," Spress declared, puffing out his chest. Torp grinned. "The Boots of Swiftness for me. Imagine outrunning everyone." Pinky hesitated, her eyes scanning the array of objects. "I'm not sure. I don't feel ready to define myself yet." Black remained silent, his gaze fixed on a particular object that seemed to emanate a dark allure, a wizard's hat, deep indigo with silver stars that shimmered mysteriously. As the ceremony commenced, each Sprunky stepped forward, selecting their chosen item. When it was Black's turn, he approached the hat, his fingers trembling as he reached out. The moment his hand touched the fabric, a surge of energy coursed through him. Visions of power, control, and respect flooded his mind. He felt seen, significant. A hush fell over the crowd as Black donned a hat. His demeanor shifted. A confident smirk replaced his usual timid expression. The transformation was palpable. "Black?" Pinky whispered, concern etched on her face. He turned to her, eyes gleaming with newfound authority. "I am no longer the shadow behind others. I am the master of my destiny." The crowd erupted in murmurs, some in awe, others in fear. The selection ceremony had never witnessed such a dramatic change. As the sun set, casting long shadows over Spelunkia, a sense of unease settled among the inhabitants. The choices made that day would ripple through their lives in ways they could never have anticipated. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the once vibrant realm of Sprunkia. The selection ceremony had concluded, leaving behind a mixture of excitement and unease. Among the crowd, whispers circulated about Black's dramatic transformation. Black stood alone atop a hill overlooking the village, the dark wizard's hat perched atop his head. The stars on the hat shimmered ominously, reflecting the turmoil brewing within him. "Power," he murmured, clenching his fist. "Finally, I have power." Back in the village, Pinky paced nervously outside her home. She couldn't shake the image of Black's altered demeanor. Determined, she set off to find him. As she approached the hill, she called out, "Black, it's me, Pinky." He turned slowly, his eyes glowing with a faint indigo hue. "Pinky," he said, his voice devoid of warmth. "I'm worried about you," she said gently. "That hat, it's changing you." Black chuckled, a sound that sent chills down her spine. "Change is necessary. I've been overlooked for too long." Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the area and dark clouds gathered overhead. The ground trembled as tendrils of shadow emerged, encircling Black. Pinky stepped back, fear evident in her eyes. "This isn't you, Black. Please, take off the hat." He raised his hand, and the shadow surged forward, forming a barrier between them. "I am beyond your reach now." Back in the village, Sprice and Torp noticed the sudden change in the atmosphere. Darkness loomed, and the once bright sky turned a murky gray. "Something's wrong," Spry said, grabbing a shield. "Let's find Pinky," Torp replied, lacing up his boots. As they reached the hill, they saw Pinky trapped behind the shadow barrier, pleading with Black. "Black, this isn't the way," Spry shouted. Black turned to them, a sinister smile on his face. "You all had your chance to shine. Now it's my turn." He raised his arms, and the shadows expanded, engulfing the hill and creeping toward the village. Pinky, Spriss, and Torp exchanged determined glances. They knew they had to act quickly to save their friend and their home. The once vibrant realm of Sprunkia now lay under a shroud of darkness. Black's transformation had plunged the land into despair, his newfound powers emanating from the dark wizard's hat he had chosen. The shadows he commanded spread like a plague, corrupting everything in their path. Pinky, Spries, and Torp stood at the edge of the encroaching darkness, their faces etched with determination. "We have to do something," Pinky said, her voice trembling. "We can't let Black destroy everything." Spriss nodded, gripping his shield tightly. "But how do we fight against such power?" Torp looked up at the darkened sky. We need to find a way to counteract his magic. Something pure, something natural. As if in response, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves around them. The ground beneath their feet glowed softly, and a path illuminated by bioluminescent flora appeared. The forest of whispers, Pinky whispered. It's calling to us. They followed the path into the heart of the forest, where the trees seemed to hum with ancient energy. In a clearing bathed in ethereal light, a majestic tree stood, its branches reaching towards the heavens. From within the tree, a voice echoed, "Children of Sprunkia, the balance has been disrupted. To restore harmony, you must embrace the essence of nature." The trio stepped forward, and the tree bestowed upon them gifts. To Spree, a shield forged from the bark of the oldest tree, imbued with the strength of the earth. To Torp, boots woven from vines, granting him unparalleled speed and agility. To Pinky, a pendant containing the purest drop of morning dew, symbolizing hope and renewal. Armed with these gifts, they returned to confront Black. The shadows recoiled at their presence, and the ground beneath them pulsed with life. Black stood atop a throne of darkness, his eyes glowing with malevolence. "You dare challenge me?" he sneered. Pinky stepped forward, her pendant glowing brightly. "We don't want to fight you, Black. We want to save you." He laughed, a sound devoid of joy. "Save me? I am beyond salvation." Spriss raised his shield. "Then we'll restore balance, with or without you." A fierce battle ensued, nature clashing against darkness. The trio fought valiantly, their newfound powers pushing back the shadows. As the battle raged, Pinky managed to reach Black, placing her pendant against his chest. A surge of light enveloped them, and for a moment time stood still. Memories flooded Black's mind, laughter with friends, moments of kindness, and the warmth of belonging. Tears streamed down his face as the darkness receded. I'm sorry," whispered, collapsing into Pinky's arms. The shadows dissipated, and sunlight broke through the clouds, illuminating Sprunkia once more. The trio stood together, their bond stronger than ever, ready to rebuild their world and cherish the light that had returned. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the rejuvenated realm of Sprunkia. The once ominous shadows had receded, replaced by the gentle rustle of leaves and the harmonious chirping of birds. Nature had reclaimed its rightful place, healing the scars left by Black's descent into darkness. Pinky, Spriss, and Torp stood atop the hill where the final confrontation had taken place. Their faces bore expressions of relief and contemplation, the weight of their journey evident in their eyes. "It's over," Spriss murmured, his shield resting at his side. "But the memories remain," Pinky added, gazing at the horizon. Torp nodded. "We've all changed. Sprunky has changed." From behind them, a familiar voice spoke. "Change is the only constant." They turned to see Black approaching, his once imposing figure now humble and subdued. The dark wizard's hat was gone, replaced by a simple hood. "Black," Pinky said, her voice filled with emotion. He bowed his head. "I can't express how sorry I am for the pain I've caused." Sprish stepped forward, placing a hand on Black's shoulder. "We all have our demons. What's important is that you found your way back." Torp grinned. "And now we rebuild." Together they descended the hill, returning to a village bustling with activity. Sprunkies of all ages worked side by side, restoring homes, planting gardens, and sharing stories of resilience and hope. Black approached a group of children, kneeling to their level. "May I help?" he asked, gesturing to a pile of building materials. The children nodded enthusiastically, handing him tools and guiding him in their construction efforts. As days turned into weeks, Sprunkia flourished. The bonds between its inhabitants grew stronger, forged through shared adversity and mutual understanding. One evening, a grand celebration was held in the central plaza. Lanterns illuminated the night sky and music filled the air. Pinky, Spriss, Torp, and Black stood together, watching the festivities. "To new beginnings," Pinky toasted, raising her glass. "To unity," Spriss added. "To friendship," Torp chimed in. Black smiled, his eyes glistening, "and to the light that guides us through the darkest times." As the night wore on, laughter and joy echoed throughout Sprunkia. The realm had faced its darkest hour and emerged stronger, a testament to the power of redemption, resilience, and the enduring strength of community.